Hey guys, Fusebox here. Today we're gonna go over a lot. How to keep the game enjoyable, how to progress through the game. Um, Definitely, we'll get into how progression actually increases progression. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you're having trouble progressing through the game, the dungeons, we're gonna get into that. It's actually a pretty easy fix. Some quirks, some of the biggest mistakes that people make, including quirks in the game. There is a way that BlueStacks could be cheating you out of some of your spider wins when you're auto running spiders. I'll show you that in case you've never caught on to the little quirk that happens there. A lot of interesting things, some fun things. Definitely some of the mistakes that even I make to this day. And real quick, the no 10x pulls from me. I did them and even pulled one legendary, but between work driving me crazy through the night, we had a horrible storm which was affecting everything. And it wasn't that exciting. I pulled my first ultimate Galek on two accounts. That was cool. One account needed him. I don't have an HP burn champ, so that was great. And my first dupe, the legendary, was on a total accident. I was not supposed to pull shards on my small account. My small account is not going for Brogni, and I really needed to save all those shards. Well, I thought I logged into my mid-tier account, and I started yanking shards, and I pulled Tomb Lord, which, of all things, my small account already had. But that's cool because Tomb Lord can throw out 4 poisons on everybody on the opposing team. 2 of those means 8 poisons on everybody. Maybe I'll find a Karam and blow those poisons up and make a really neat team out of that. So, yeah, the glass is half full, right? So, let's get into progression. Let's start there. And then we'll get to the quirky things and then the mistakes. Progression is kind of key to progression. If you want to enjoy this game more and longer, if you want this to be a longer lasting game, it's like everything else in life. You want to see progress. That's your reward, right? That's what makes you excited to keep going. And sometimes all of us get to a point we feel like we're not progressing. We feel like we're not getting better. It's not about getting new heroes. It is a bit about getting new gear. Trying to push all the way to 20 and efficiently farm those level 20 dungeons. The first thing you want to do is whatever champions you're using, whatever champions you have, you really do want to. Let's say you have 8, 9 level 60s. That's where the game really starts to open up, by the way. So if you're not there, just keep building heroes and keep pushing your best. It does open up so much when you have options. Choose those heroes. Let's say Kel was your starter. He needs to be strong so he can farm. You're probably using him on dragons for a poisoner. Maybe you've got, for defense down, maybe you've got Tyrell or even just War Maiden. They need to be strong. If that's all you have for defense down or for poisons, they need to be built with your best gear. You may be working on an amazing legendary that you pulled, but if that legendary doesn't have a kit that gets you through the dungeons you're worried about, but you're sitting on Ultimate Galek and you're still not pushing through the spider dungeons, perhaps it's time to not worry so much about a very niche legendary and work on that epic that can carry you right through it. He'll need to be surrounded by support champions, somebody that brings an attack up for your team buff so that he can lay his HP burn quickly. You'll need people who can maybe have somebody who can freeze or stun spiders. Even a stun set on an AoE character could do it. They can be rare. But a lot of times what's happening is the shiny hero is not always the best. These epics carry the game, and some of these rares really do. If clan boss is your focus, then you need to be putting your best gear, and it needs to be lifesteal gear. Unless you have a leech, that can make up for it. You need an attack down champion. Right here, you could take Frozen Banshee for poisons. You could take Coffin Smasher. You could take him for attack down. You could bring Apothecary if you don't have a counterattack to speed up your team. If you wanted weaken, you could bring Aethel. I mean, these rares, if you've got a Bulwark in there somewhere, yeah, bulwark. He could be your defensive lead to give you and actually protects your team a bit. So does Coffin Smasher. By the way, he's got a really cool passive that all of your team will take 5% less damage from AOE's. All the clan boss does is AOE, and stun one target. This is actually a pretty overpowered passive, but those are the heroes you need to work on. Uh, also, I've seen a lot of people try to come up with one team to beat them all or the best free to play team, and they try to throw rares in, and rares can beat the level 20 dungeons. I can do it, you can do it, but when we're talking free to play, don't forget you're going to get Visix the Unbowed for free. You're going to get Seal of the Drakes for free, and I'm going to tell you, I know us every time. Seal of the Drakes, when you know that you're going to get her at the end of your 30 days, when you see her on the little calendar, get ready to build her out. She will change your game single-handedly everywhere you go. Absolutely the best thing Plarium ever did was give you Seal of the Drakes. But you're going to get Seal, you're going to get you get Hakatoon right off the bat. She's absolutely amazing. Grush, he takes away the need for lifesteal gear on the clan boss. They give you amazing heroes. They really do. And those are really good heroes to focus on. You might sometimes have to keep in mind what affinity you need, because there's a lot of blues in this game. You might need certain affinities to push through just one certain level of, like Spiders 19. How many people come back to Armiger? The uncommon Armiger, the most amazing hero though. Because right off the bat, starting the game out, you can start building him out right alongside Kel. You just get him from pulling green shards and from buying him out of the shop. So progression, if you work on the right heroes and focus them all the way to 60, fully ascend them. Just every time you do an ascension, look, it tells you what it's increasing. It's a piece of gear. I mean, like, all of this stuff is so important. Their skills become stronger as you ascend them. You can finally equip better equipment like banners. That stuff is so important. Which brings me to some of the most common mistakes. Any character that has to land any debuff, with a few very rare exceptions, and everybody will let you know when a hero does not need accuracy to do something. They need accuracy. That's it. He's a defense character. Let's get out of this big screen. And real quick, by the way, when you see, this, look at this account. This is my big account. And there are some ridiculous, amazing heroes here. This is every legendary that I've ever gotten right here. There might be some that I haven't leveled up yet. Only one. My second Rosin. This is every legendary I've ever gotten. I'm going to edit in. I'm going to put an X over everybody that I earned through the game. Fragment, fusion events. It's not that many. They are amazing. Don't get me wrong. You will get here too. You will. This took almost a year of playing the game. I haven't quite played a year, but I'm getting there. I'm over 300 days. That's you're going to have this too. You will have this too. You'll pull these amazing and these epics, which I argue are just as important, if not more important. You'll get them, and you'll level them up one at a time. Focus on them until they're useful and strong. But so don't, if you haven't been putting in all that time, it will come. I would try to get in the habit of every, with the exception of this Fragafusion event for Brogni. Typically, every month there's going to be a new legendary that you can earn for free as a fusion, which are a little bit tougher to me, or a fragment. And you know exactly what it's going to look like. Again, with the exception of this current one. You're going to have to do 2 training events, 2 artifact enhancement events. So I save everything. As soon as this one's over, I'll be saving up for the next one. And that's going to get you legendaries. And some of them are game changing without any question. But let's get back to the biggest mistake. This is a defense champion. You start throwing defensive gear on him. Well, you just missed what he's all about. If you didn't put accuracy on him, all of a sudden you're not landing his HP burn, you're not landing his provoke, his decrease attack. Everything he does is built around one thing: accuracy. He needs it high too, especially if you're getting into Doom Tower. Doom Tower is for later game. That's what it's for. And now take what you can get the loot that you can get. But if you're still pushing through dungeons, you're not going to be beating Doom Tower, and that's totally fine. That's the reason they added it to the game, was for people to have something to do once they've already pushed to level 20. And level 25 is coming soon, so there's even more to look forward to. But the rule of thumb, whatever dungeon stage you're on, multiply by 10, and that is the minimum requirement of accuracy that you should be building. So on level 20, 200 accuracy. That's why I always shoot for 220. I like that little bit of cushion. But if you're on level 10, you only require about 100 accuracy to be able to land your debuffs on level 10. But always build ahead, because at level 100 you may beat level 10, but then you're on level 11. So be shooting for level 12 or 13, trying to get your accuracy where it needs to be. The second mistake, but that's before you worry about his strength, his defense, and his damage. The second mistake is speed. For all regular content, if you throw speed boots on your character, try to get the rolls that you want underneath it, it'll just about take care of it. You're going to want some other speed rolls along the way, banners with speed, but you want at least like 170 accuracy just to be usable. Now that's again shooting for level 20 dungeons and stuff. So if you're not quite at 170 and you're not at level 20 dungeons, no big deal. But don't leave speed out. Like you'll be so tempted to put those defense boots on. I'm going to be stronger and harder to kill, which is true. But if you're taking one less turn every 2 turns, you're not getting the job done. You're just getting hammered twice by the enemy, which means that extra defense just got negated. So those are the biggest mistakes I see: neglecting accuracy and neglecting your speed before you build out your attack and your crit and all that other stuff. Just to help people out, let's real quick talk about the quirk. BlueStacks, or probably any auto clicker that actually physically clicks in one area to replay, there's a dirty little thing that I've caught it doing. When you go into spiders, we're going to have to go through one spiders fight to kind of show this. So let's get in here, click play. The replay button is right around here. Let's say I clicked right where my arrow is. It's continuously clicking there every second or two. We got to hit auto here. And while it's clicking in that area, right over here, you see when it pans in, those little spiderlings get in that area sometimes. We'll have to see where the replay button is, but watch it as it pans. What it does is it clicks depending on how you've scaled your game. Like on BlueStacks, it's easy to change the size and shape of the screen. It can click on the spiderling, and if it does that, you're focusing your attacks in the wrong direction, and it can definitely mess you up. Only going to be an issue if you're not playing full screen, or like I have to run 3 of them at all times. But right there, that spiderling came into the target of where my clicker is, and if it's clicking every second, I'm clicking spiders right there. Something to be aware of. If you walk in and you're like, why do I not have as much loot as I should have after running all night, or I didn't get the points that I should have gotten, it could very well be that you're not winning every fight because of a random click hitting at the wrong time. It happens far more often than you would believe. I catch it all the time. So it's just something. How do you fix that? You can resize your screen a little bit, but there's not a whole lot you can do. There's not a whole lot. Every now and then it will catch one of those spiderlings. HP burn strategies tend to play better through this, but because then you're not trying to use cold heart on a little spiderling when her heart seeker's up. But there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So just remember, if you've never noticed it, but you've wondered why you're not consistently winning, that's why. But auto runs work just fine. But it's when you do an auto clicker like a macro on BlueStacks that can mess you up, and it definitely does mess me up at times, depending on the team that I'm using. So don't neglect though. Also the sparring pit. This is yuck. I've never upgraded any of them. I've only opened 2, and I kind of almost regret it. I I don't suppose it's horrible, but I just don't think this is worth your gems. I really don't. If anybody's ever actually maxed these out to 3 and spent all those gems and done all that, let me know if you somehow think it's worth it. But these guys, I mean, look, an hour more to get from level 7 to 8, or I could just go run one dungeon, 12-3, I mean, and he'll be at level 12. At least somebody is always leveling, but it's so slow. I would say this is a trap. It's going to take your gems from you. I don't really suggest it. Now, the mine, early on, you might not want to do this. It does cost a lot of gems, 500, and you can upgrade it to level 3. So that's 1,500 gems. But over time, I do suggest doing this. If you're going to play the game long term, it will pay out. If you know you're going to stick with the game and enjoy it, it's a collector game. That's the funnest part about this. You can go to the index and just daydream about what you want. I don't know why it's been bringing. It shows these new characters that I've been clicking on, but it gives you something to always be going for. Years down the road, you'll still be looking for that one hero. It's always going to be heroes that you want. I still have not even gotten all the epics, which kind of blows my mind. But it's true. There's still epics that I've never gotten. Anywhere you go. This is probably one of my best legendary collections is Barbarians. But look, lots of epics. And they're always coming out with new heroes. Just enjoy the game. Sometimes don't get stressed out. No, you don't have to compete against anybody. Other than arena. Look, the arena, don't let it discourage you. I would still try to run it every single day, even if you're early game and it's kind of a nightmare. I still would push it because they'll fix it. Eventually, they may even overfix it like they did last time. I don't know what's going on 100%, but definitely remember it's an area of the game. You may want to build specific heroes with specific gear just for the arena. But you really do. When you might be wondering, you see somebody, and my Great Hall is just middle of the road right now. But this is a lot. I mean, if I'm doing a red character, I've got 80 accuracy before I put gear on them. This accuracy tree is the best place to start, in my opinion. We're talking about how people neglect accuracy. Well, this is like a free banner. You definitely want to, 40 extra accuracy, it takes forever. I know it really does take forever, but as you strengthen these things up, you're strengthening up your arena team, your dungeon team. It will help you earn more of these points so you can come in here and finally one day max this thing out. I know it's a struggle. I realize that right now it's broken, but especially for newer players, it's kind of broken. But a part of that does fall on us. We still need to be actually putting our time and our resources into heroes that do perform in the arena. Now, when you're early game, they can overlap. Tayrell's excellent on the clan boss. He's excellent on almost every dungeon that his affinity lines up on, and he's excellent as a debuffer in the arena. So you can take that one hero and get 3 purposes out of him. Examples like that, you can come up with them all day long. So maybe you don't want to build another debuffer that takes defense down. Maybe your next champion needs to be somebody that speeds your team up. Apothecary, because Apothecary is amazing in level 20 dungeons as well. So progression, it's like everything else in life. If you're training for a sport, if you're trying to get further in your career, when you see your progression happening, it feels rewarding. It helps you enjoy continuing on further. And so make sure that even if you've got a bunch of halfway built heroes and they're just barely doing their job, take some gear, go into your gear, hit filter, hit equipped, and don't be scared to steal some gear off of some of these heroes wearing gear that you don't even hardly use, and put your best gear on your best 6 or 10 heroes and make them do their job. They will get you better gear in return, and then you can start gearing other people out even better. That's it. Managing resources is obviously something that you have to do according to you. I do suggest getting in the habit of knowing that every month you're going to get a free legendary if you hold on to everything you got very much unlike what I did when I accidentally pulled every shard I had on my small account. Oh boy, did that hurt. That hurt. And then I got a dupe legendary. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. I just wanted to go over mistakes that are easy to make, even late game. I'm because of Doom Tower, I need to be pushing 300 accuracy and like 220 speed. I'm trying to get my better heroes ready for going through hard mode of Doom Tower, which I have not been able to play in a couple days. Where am? Let's progress report, front and center. Where am I? I am 50. I'm about halfway up, almost halfway up. So I need to real quick go ahead and try to push up before it resets again. Hopefully, I will not get too many calls tonight and actually get back to the next boss. I hope you're working on your progression. I hope you had luck during the 10x event more than I did. I hope I had a little bit, but hopefully you had better. Until next time, enjoy the grind.